Welcome to CIT 15. You're just tuning in. We've talked a little bit in class and introduced ourselves to each other, but now I'm starting to record this video for everybody out there in internet land. If you're taking this class online, I'm going to walk you through what you need to do well in this class and to learn the stuff in this class. Maybe first, should I say something about focus and work? You want to be successful, just focus. Choose the thing you want to do, focus. I don't know, I lost the mojo on that one. Maybe it'll come back. Does that resonate with anybody? If you want to be successful, choose something, man. Just do it. Just work at it. You know what time I go to bed? Man, like last night I went to bed at 11. That was pretty good. Or maybe it was midnight. I can't remember. It was pretty early. The night before that, it's 2 a.m. Like I grind. I'm like, okay, man, maybe it will kill me. Literally, that's like, like last semester I said sleep deprived. I've got a 4-month-old and a 2-year-old, and I was like, maybe it'll kill me. I'm like so sleep deprived. I was getting loopy sometimes. There was nights I did not sleep. I stayed up all night prepping lectures to come into my other classes. This class is slam dunk. I've been doing this forever. But didn't sleep all night and go teach my class and crash for a couple hours and go with the rest of the day, right? But if you want something, you could do it, whatever it is. And if you truly want to be successful, learn to code. I started coding for all intents and purposes 2 years ago. Like I've had some experience, but then like here I was just teaching these classes, the intro classes, a couple other classes, and then finally opportunities like, do you want to do these coding classes? I said yes. And I started learning this new programming language called Go. Because there's like all these different programming languages that are out there, C, C++, JavaScript, Java, right? A bunch of different programming languages out there. Ruby on Rails, JavaScript and Ruby are both 20 years old, right? C, C++, 30 and 40 years old. Go is like this new language that Google created, and they created it because none of the current languages could do what they want. I said, that's the language I want to learn. And so I started learning that language because, like, if I go after something that's already out there, I'll just be another rookie in the crowd of experts, right? There's been people who've been programming in C, JavaScript, 20 years, and they're black belts. And the only time I'm going to be better than them is when they quit and they're no longer available, because they're always going to be ahead of me. But Go is brand new, right? If I learn Go, then cool, I'll stand out in the crowd. And Google created it. Those are some good credentials. And do you know who they hired to create it? They hired these guys. These names won't mean anything to you probably. Rob Pike, Ken Thompson, and Robert Gressimer. The same guys who helped create C, helped create Unix, helped create UTF-8. Right? These are some of the most foundational bedrock things in computers, these languages. And those guys who helped create that created a new language, and they created it for Google. Well, those are good credentials. Like, I'm interested. Like, you've maybe heard of the programming language Python. You know who created Python? Some dude named Guido. One guy, Guido, right? And he created a language. He named it after, Python, the actors, right? The Monty Python deal, And then he said, version 2 is no good. I'm going to create version 3. And he broke backwards compatibility with version 2. And so nobody in the community followed him because they'd already written all this code in 2. It's like, well, that makes me suspect. The guy who created the language said that the version 2 was so bad, he's going to break backwards compatibility and create a new version, version 3, and nobody follows him. That's a red flag. But this language, Go, created at Google by these luminaries in computer science, whoa, awesome. So 2 years ago, I started studying that. Since then, I've had like so many opportunities come my way because, I've figured out this language that very few people know, right? It's like still new. So like with 6 months, a year of hard work, cool, you're in there. You're like one of the people who's good at it. There's a guy here at City College that started learning it in July. And just this December, right, I was on vacation. I got an email from him. He said, hey, man, somebody was looking at my code in Europe. And they asked me, they said they'll pay up to 80,000 euro. They said they like my code on GitHub. And I'd go work in Berlin. What should I do? I'm like, tell them that you're not available till May 15th, but that you totally want to. And then you have between now and May to just pour yourself into Go And then when you finally go over May 15th, start your 80,000 euro a year job, right? You know, you've had 5 months to really bring yourself up to speed. Pour yourself into it, though. So it's that focus thing. Like, choose something and focus on it. 2 years, I've focused on this. That's all I do, man. My family, and then, you know, this, right? That's it. And so I've had a lot of opportunities. One of the things I've done, I'm going to give you guys access to this, is there's this place called Udemy. And so let me just do this. Udemy Todd McLeod. So if you Google Udemy Todd McLeod, you could come in here and anybody could teach here. Right? Anybody. You want to teach something, you could come put together a course on how to pick up dog poop. Like, this is the definitive course in the world on how to pick up dog poop. I'm going to show you all of the techniques. I'll show you the gloved hand technique where you use a glove to get the poop. I'll show you how to take the glove off so that you don't get poop on your... It's a joke, right? But you could teach anything. You could teach anything here. Whatever you know. Right? Whatever you know. How to wait tables. You can make a training and start selling it to people. How to wait tables. Or how to create a yard care business. Right? How to create a yard care business. You could do that. Or how to get out of the gangbang in life. You could create a little bit, and you could just offer it to people for free, or you could charge them $10. I have 40,897 students. I charge about $10 a class. Anybody doing the math? Well, if you did do the math, 40,000 times $10 is $400,000. Whoa. I haven't made $400,000 because I give my class away free all the time. And there's like links all over. Take the class free, take the class free. So a lot of people take it for free. Right? But I've made some money. I've made $400,000. But I haven't made nothing. I made a little bit of money. That's nice. Teaching. So the things you learn in here are things you already know. You could create your own course. And they have courses on how to create courses, which are free on here. So you could study it. And the reason I'm showing you this is because, like, right here, this is the last course I created. And I'll give you a link to it. So if you want to start learning this language, right, you will be one of the... You're getting in early. This language was released in 2009, and it was like, you know, ready for live version 1 in 2012. So it's only 4 years old. JavaScript and Ruby are both 20 years old. Takes a while for something to get momentum, but this is catching on. It's getting a lot of momentum. There's a lot of huge companies that are using this, starting to use it because it's a really good language. So if you're interested at all in programming, start now and start here. Okay? So it's this, and you can look at the reviews. You can look at the reviews. Like, hey, do I want to take this course? What do people say about it? So you could scroll through here and look at the reviews. So I'm going to give you access for free. However, the only thing I ask for in return, so maybe it's not free, it's reciprocity, but you know, I'm giving it to you, so whether or not you do this is up to you. But what I ask for in return is you come in here and you give me a 5-star review, not a 4-star review. Not 3, not 2, not 1. If you don't like it, come talk to me in person. What can I do to help you? Don't throw sand into my game, right? But give me a good review and write some really good things if you like it. That's all I ask. If you like it. If you don't like it, come stop watching it or come talk to me. But if you do like it, give me a 5-star review and write some really nice things, because that's going to help other students come and take it. And when they come and take it, that's good for the world. It's good for me. So let me give you access codes. So the access code for that is for free, great review. So that's all you need to know. All lowercase, great review. So if you just go there and you say, I want to buy this course, they'll say enter coupon code. You enter great review, GREATREVIEW, and you're learning to code. And like right now, and then in 6 months, you could be good at this language. And I show you everything from the ground up. So coding's world of opportunities. And if you think you can't do it, you're in good company, right? Because that is coding. When you learn coding, there are going to be many times where you are brought to your knees and you'll be like, I think I just need to give up. However, if you don't give up, you'll figure it out. So every day you just keep doing it. And then after 9 months, you realize, wait, I know all the answers to these things that I used to not know answers to. It's not hard. It's pretty cool. And then you can build things. So that's me selling the field of computer science as a potential career pathway. It's a very good one, and it's with complete confidence that I encourage you towards it if you have any interest, because it will treat you well. There are few other fields that will pay you like comp sci. And you will gain almost a superpower. You will gain a superpower, almost like a superpower, because you'll be able to do things that the vast majority of people can't do. I think it's pretty cool. All right, so our class. Anybody have any thoughts or comments or reflections, questions? What's up?
What is Go used for?
Oh, good question. So it's a systems level language. So you could do like basic systems programming, whatever that means. Just think of Google, right? Think of Google. That's what Go's used for. Okay, so Google is what? It's a software engineering firm that delivers software over the web and delivers services over the web. So distributed networked applications is what Go does. And it also does concurrency really well. So taking advantage of multiple cores really easily, right? Like, can I do concurrent programming really hard in older languages written before computers had multiple cores? JavaScript, Ruby, C, C++, Java, those are all written for machines with single cores. You can do concurrency in some of those languages, but it doesn't happen easily. In Go, concurrency is like slam dunk, so easy, and max out all of the CPUs on my machine. Really take advantage of this hardware. So it does distributed networked applications. It does server-side programming, back end of websites. It's phenomenal for that. It's the best choice that's out there. That's why I got into it. I was like, Python, Ruby, Node, right? Those are pretty much like the holy trinity today that's popular. And Go is gaining on a lot of those, right? But I looked at each of those and then Go, and I was like, I'm choosing Go. PHP, ASP, that's all old school. You don't do any of that anymore. JSP, Cold Fusion, that's dead, right? But so server-side web programming, phenomenal. And the statistics on that, like if you look at the Golang blog, like because Google has to handle massive amounts of traffic. So YouTube is all delivered with Go, right? YouTube is all back-end Go. And if you look at the Golang blog, they have Kihu 360 and Go. And here's just like, some metrics on a company in China where they have to serve 1.3 billion users. Initially, our system ran on 20 servers with 20 million real-time connections. So 1 million real-time connections per server. So one machine's able to handle with Go 1 million real-time connections. 1 million. Whoa. The system sent 2 million messages a day. That system now runs on 400 servers, supporting 200 million plus real-time connections. Holy cow. 200 million people are connected to that server at the same time. It now sends over 10 billion messages daily. So that's some massive, fast processing. Right. So server-side, back-end, that's what I'm excited about it with. But like, you could do a lot of stuff with it. It doesn't have a GUI. So you're not going to build like Java swing applications, if you know that. Like there isn't a GUI framework. It's new language that might come, but your GUI would just be your web front end, right? And there isn't like some hardware access. Like you could get from standard input, the keyboard, no problem. Getting from the mouse, you have to bind to C to get from the mouse. That's more challenging. Connect to C, the C language, or pull it in with Ajax, from the web. JavaScript, get mouse input that way if that's what you're going for. So, yeah, great question. Thanks. How many people are glad you came so far? That's it? How many people are not glad? Like, you have not delivered any value for my time. It's a waste of my time and money. So here's our class in Blackboard. I'll show you what you got to do. So when you first log into Blackboard, you look for My Courses and you click right here. You can manage which courses are shown if you're seeing a bunch of classes that you don't want to see there, like from previous semesters. I go in and I just uncheck them, right? So right there, that little gear icon. And so I just uncheck whether or not I want it to show. So I'm only showing what's going this semester. And then you should also change your personal information. You could change your password. So I just clicked on personal information right here. You should change your password because, it's very easy to hack, figure out somebody's credentials.
Is there a way to permanently delete those classes?
I don't think so. You just don't show them anymore. And then you come into our class, so I'm clicking the link for CIT 15, and if you're in the online class, you'll see a link over here for discussions also, because in the online class, we do a discussion each week, so if you're in the online class, you need to post that discussion by like midnight Sunday or before I grade it, and that's every week, and it's due every week. All right, that's the online class. So the first thing here is you could, there's a couple of links for all about your grade. So you can learn about how do I grade you in this class, and this will take you to a video which you can watch on YouTube. And then this will walk you through how to use Blackboard and learn about MyITLab, right? So, using MyITLab. You're going to have to use MyITLab in this class. So I'm going to show you what MyITLab is in a second, but you have until February 8th to make sure that you're registered in there. If you're not, you're going to fail this class, okay? You got to do it. And it's going to cost you $70 to $100 for the materials for this course. And you need to either buy them at the bookstore at Fresno City College. That will be $100. Or you could buy them online, and I'll show you where to do that in a second too. And if you know anybody wanting to add CIT 15, just one more note. It looks like we have one seat in here, but Tuesday at 8 a.m. in this room, 127, has a lot of seats. So if you want to tell anybody, who's looking for a class, or if you don't like me, you could go to that class. Next thing you'd look at is the syllabus. Hey.
Do you need like a special code to get enrolled?
Yeah, you do. In MyITLab, I'll show you all that. So let's take a look at it, see what the syllabus says. If we need a special code for MyITLab. So here it shows you the syllabus, and this is what you need, and this is what it'll cost you. So if you're going to buy it for $75, you go to this link, MyITLab, and it looks like I have that linked, even though, oh, it just shows up. All right, let's click on that. And then you come in here and register now, and you're going to say I'm a student. And then email what? Okay, course ID, access code or credit card, fine. So then I'm going to click on that. And then it's going to ask for a course ID. I'm going to come back to Blackboard, and right here in MyITLab, this link right here, you see it?
Yeah.
All right, I click that, and then I scroll down, and then there'll be a code right here. So I copy that access code. So Control-C on a PC, Command-C on the Mac. And I come back here, and I enter that code. And then it's going to ask me to create an account. It'll ask me to enter my credentials, or enter my credit card information. And that's how you can buy it online. Once you bought it online, so for our class, we are 454. And so 454, I'm just going to go into that class right now. And mine will look different because I'm the teacher. And all the stuff over on the left that kind of has whatever the symbol is. Let's see what it is here in a second.
Is there an ebook in there too?
Yeah,
Or
so
do we
the
have
book
to
is
pay
just
separately?
digital.
Oh, okay.
So if you pay $75, you get a digital copy of the book. If you pay $100 at the bookstore at Fresno City College, you get a physical copy of the book. Who has a physical copy of the book? Cool. I saw one sitting out when class started. Well, this is taking its sweet time. So maybe I lost my login. I'll log in again. All right, so here it is. It's back up and running. And these things are a little lying through people. You won't see that. There's an area where you go into course materials. And it's kind of slow. And then you'll see like, oh, here's the different stuff that I do. And right here you'll have Pearson eText. So I guess that's the eText right there. So you could view the text electronically there. And here are your course materials. And in here there's like a training and an exam. I don't care about the training. If you already know something, I don't want you to go through the training. That's a waste of your time. Just take the exam. Show me you know it. Great, you're done. If you take the exam and you fail it, well then go take the training and then come back and take the exam again. I'm always going to keep your highest score. Right? So try it. Try the exam. Did you get it? Oh, this is hard. I got to go do the training. But the training doesn't count towards your grade. You don't have to do the training. You only have to do the exam, and it's only pass-fail. So you need 70% or more on the exam. So you get 70%, you're cool. Right?
How many tries do we get on the exam?
Unlimited. You can take as many times as you want, and in each module you get 99 attempts to figure out each little problem. Try, oh, wrong. And it just counts down and you hit 0. You can't do that anymore. And if you get stuck on a problem, some of the MyITLab has some buggy stuff. So if you get stuck on one, I'm doing it right. I'm doing it just like in the training. It's not working. Just skip it. Right? You only need 70%. Just skip it. Just go to the next question because there's going to be a couple that don't work. Yeah.
How many problems are in each exam?
I have no idea. 12 to 40. And then, so there's 1 in Windows, there's 4 in Word, 4 exams in Word, 4 in Excel, 4 in Access, 2 in PowerPoint. Yeah.
Are exams in here or?
You just do them on your own time. And it's open book, and you could have your friend helping you. I don't care. But don't pay somebody to take them for you. You need to take them. And then we have down here, you also have chapter quizzes for the textbook. So there's like 13 of those in there, right? And then you have a couple of office lab tests. And then you have the final, which will be open the last 2 weeks. You won't be able to see the final until the last 2 weeks. So the main thing is, each week I'm going to tell you what you need to do. So this week you need to do Windows 10 exam. Windows 10 exam. And then you need to come down to exams down here, and you need to do chapter quizzes, chapter 1. And all those are, as many attempts as you want. And if something is funky, if it's not keeping your highest score, if you don't have an unlimited number of attempts, I might have hit the wrong setting or forgot to turn on a setting. Just let me know, I'll fix it. So that's MyITLab.
Do we have to do them by certain dates, or could we technically sit down and start doing ahead of time?
Yeah, no, you could finish this course all in 1 week if you want, except for the final. So you could do it whenever you like. So except for if you're in my online class, the discussions are due each week. I have flexible deadlines in this class, meaning, like you're pregnant and you're giving birth, you're going to be out for 3 weeks. Cool, man. Congratulations. Do your thing. Bring life into the world. And then when you come back, make up all the work. Right? So the only deadline's the end of the class, except for the online class that has discussions each week. don't hang yourself with that. Be disciplined, right? You're no longer in high school. I'm not going to badger you. Where's your stuff? A lot of teachers still do that here. I'm like, this is the work that's before you, do it. Right? You're here for you. I'm here to help you achieve your goals. You got to get this done to get through this class, right? To earn your grade and to learn some really valuable things, right? Well, get it done. Each week, you should probably just like, do a little each week. That's the best way to approach it. Or get it all done early before your other classes get heavy. And get as much work in here done as you can. Work through some stuff. A lot of it is rote work, like those quizzes are kind of like, all right, read the chapter, take the quiz, But, I'll tell you I'll give you the ideal schedule, like this week you should do this, next week you should do this, the week after this, all right? So it's basically one of these exams each week. That'll take us through 15 weeks of exams. There's 15 different exams in between Windows and PowerPoint. And then in here, there's a quiz a week for the textbook. There's 13 quizzes for the textbook. And we have a couple of hands-on projects in there. So that's where you buy it. We left off buying the materials. No, we already did buying the materials. And then your grade is half your grade. Half your grade comes from MyITLab. Half your grade is going to come from Blackboard. So you could take, okay, what's my grade in MyITLab and what's my grade in Blackboard, and you could figure out your grade in the class by doing things like this. Okay, Blackboard shows 80%, MyITLab shows 70%. Half of 80% is 40%, half of 100%, because half your grade is half of that, 50%. I add those together, I have a 90% in the class. Does that make sense? Try to keep it simple. So that's the syllabus. That's figuring out your grade. The ultimate deadline for turning all work in the class in is right there. That's the syllabus again. So it's the first day of finals week. All due the first day of finals week, including the final. You need to be done with it. So you do the final online. Huh? What? Yeah, you do the final online. It's just going to be like the rest of the quizzes. Same questions, same text bank, right? It just randomly draws out. What do you want to see this? That part? So just that's all on the syllabus. So you could go into Blackboard, click the link, and look this up again. Good. All right. I hope I hit record again. Stop recording, pause recording. 28:19, 28:22. Cool. That's the syllabus. That's MyITLab. We're done there. So the next thing here is lectures. So I'll put the lecture I record in class. You come into lectures to watch, and they're all week 1, right, through 17. And you click on it, it takes you to YouTube playlist. And I'll put the lecture that we do in class up here at the top. So you could always come in and see what we did in class. Or if we do something in class, how did we do that again? You could go back and look at it. And then here I've just sort of like recorded. This is like what I'd want you to take away from week 1. But when I did all that, I realized there's more material than I could teach you in week 1 or in each week. Right? So some of the stuff in here is like, I talked about, hey, the importance of focus. You need to go check out my little video on that. Like, how to be successful and why focus matters and setting a priority in your life. Like for a while, my priority, I got really into like meditating because I kind of wanted to see what it'd be like if I could be enlightened. I wanted to see what would that be like to be enlightened. And so I meditated every day for an hour. I made that my #1 priority. I was like, every day I'm going to meditate for an hour. Come hell or high water, no matter what happens, I'm doing that. That's my #1 priority. And if I miss it on one day, I'm making it up on the next day. Now that sounds intense, that sounds extreme, But you know what? I meditated an hour a day for like 7 years, right? And I stuck to it because it's my number one priority. I don't even think about it. The sun rises and the sun sets, that's going to happen. So you make something your number one priority, you focus like that. I'm going to study 2 hours every day, shutting the door, I'm by myself, I've got books and studying, and that's it. No Facebook, no YouTube, no talking on the phone, no texting. I'm studying 2 hours every day. Come hell or high water, I'm doing that. I miss it on one day, or I don't get all of it on one day, I'm making it up on the next, and I'm just going to do that. Whoa. Right? Out of 24 hours, you've taken 2 and you've devoted yourself. You've focused. You've set it as a number one priority. I'm doing this thing. And that's going to be 700 hours in a year, like over 700 hours that you will have studied something, whatever you chose to study. You're going to start to know that thing. And you do that for 5 years, you will have intimate knowledge about that subject matter. You will know something that people need if you've chosen a subject matter that people need, like programming. You will know something people need, and they will pay you for it. So that's focus, right? So you might watch that. And then I talk a little bit about gratitude. I haven't talked about gratitude today, right? You guys, the lottery now, right now, is like $1.5 billion or something crazy. I'm going to buy a lottery ticket. That's nuts, dude. Like, how awesome would that be? You know, the odds are completely against it, but, you know, somebody's going to win, you know. But you guys have already won the lottery. You don't know it. 7 billion people on the planet, you guys already won. You were born in America, right? You were born in the first world. In Cambodia, you can't drink the water out of the tap. 1 in 5 kids under the age of 5 in Cambodia, they die from waterborne illnesses, right? Here, dude, you could be in your shower and you could just be like, drinking the water. You do that in Cambodia, it kills you, right? Like 7 billion people on this planet. There's people living in war zones. There's people who are impoverished. There's people who would love to be where you are right now with the opportunity before them to work hard and make something of their life, and to realize their dream, and to be able to advance and progress themselves, and to have access to the internet, and to be able to learn. They would give every waking hour of their life to forwarding their life if they could be where you are right now, right? The opportunity to learn, the opportunity to make something of your life, you know, drinking water that you could drink right out of any faucet, holy cow, a place to live, you know, shelter at night, food to eat, clothes. There's a lot of people in the world who don't have many of those things. Safety, relative safety. I know Fresno's a little gangy, right? We've got a fair share of violence here, but this is not Syria. You know? I mean, you guys already won. And it's easy to forget that and to not count our blessings, right? It's easy to be like, yeah, but I got to ride the bus. Really? How fortunate. There's public transit to carry you where you want to go. So many places in the world, there's no public transport. You are so lucky. So, and there's things down here at the bottom. It's like I said, a lot of videos like, you know, what's the difference between CC and BCC in an email? You need to know that. And some people don't know that. So if you don't know what the difference is between CC and BCC in a video, dude, you got to figure that stuff out. Otherwise, some point in your life, you're going to, you know, you'll be in a situation and your ignorance is going to show. You won't be able to use that tool, all right? So, right-clicking, right? Like getting a context-sensitive menu, right-click. Get a different menu there than I get right here because I different context, which I clicked. The power of right-clicking. How to take a screenshot, right? Oh, let me show that to people. Whoa. Right? Cool, I just took a screenshot. Nice. You guys know that because you got phones and everything. You do that with your phones. When people are, what's that app that y'all use for texting that destroys the message? Snapchat, yeah. So when you get like the sexy Snapchat that they don't want you to keep, screenshot. I got it. No? I know there's somebody in here. It's like, oh, I did that.
That program will tell you when the person that's received it has done that.
Oh, what?
You still got it.
I've been married for a while, so it doesn't matter anymore. All right, so those are the lectures, and you can see they're all week 1, week 2, week 3. So at the beginning, I'll say, you know, we're in week 1. Next week, they'll say we're in week 2. And you come into your assignments, and so you have assignments to do in here too, and you can see, okay, here are the week 1, week 2, you know, week 3 assignments. So you just do the assignments for each week, whatever week we're in. And you just upload them right here to Blackboard by clicking the name of the assignment. You click it, and then you could upload a screenshot. So you might say, attach file, browse my computer. And you might say, you know, some little comment. And some people are always like, dude, I can't find that globe, right? Because it used to, when I made a lot of the videos, they had a different interface. So here are my files or something. Here's the link. I think, how do we do a link? I don't know if it's here. No. I don't know how you do a link anymore. Oh, write submission. So right here. Here is a link. So if you need to give me a link to some file, you just write it, and you click this icon right here to chain, and that's insert edit link. And then you could say, you know, www.google.com or whatever the link is to what you want to show me, and open it in a blank. Open a new window, so when I click it, it opens a new window, and then hit insert, and that will insert a new link. So when you submit it, I could just easily click that, and it opens it. That's where you do it now as you watch the rest of the course, and you're like, where is that? Or you attach file by browsing my computer, and then you just hit submit, and now it loads it up to me, and so I know, okay, here it is. And here's a video that you watch, and like I said, these are a couple of years old, so I made them a few years ago, but you watch so if anything's totally dated, just say, dude, I can't figure it out, and I'll make a new video. But you just, so you guys could be my quality control, right? Like if something's like so, like I can't, the button used to look like this, I don't know where it is anymore, then just let me know. So you click that link, and there'll be a video that shows you how to do it. You can watch it as many times as you want. So you do your assignments. That's it over here on Blackboard. Unless you're in my online class, then it's also your discussion each week. And then you can come down and see your Blackboard grade. Just the grade on Blackboard right here. You'll see your Blackboard grade. And in MyITLab, there's a way you can see your MyITLab grade in MyITLab. You don't see a grade here because I am a teacher. I don't have a grade. I give them. That looks pretty awesome, right? You guys have the opportunity to change your life. In 2 years, in 4 years, in 5 years, you could be incredible. You can be making good money, right? I started learning this language, and then Fresno State asked me, because I met the dude who runs Comp Sci out at Fresno State, will you come teach web programming out at Fresno State, web programming out at Fresno State? And I said, all right, but I'm going to teach Go. He said, what's Go? I said, Go's, and I told him the whole story. I said, that's the language I'm teaching. If you want me to do it, I'm teaching that language. He said, all right, come do it. So I taught out there, and then I started making all these videos on YouTube. And so like, oh, it's going to make noise. Oh, okay, cool, we avoided it. So I made playlists, right? And so here's like last semester at Fresno State, last semester here at City. But anyhow, I made all these videos, and now 220,000 people have watched the videos, which is nuts. And then YouTube pays me some money for each, you know, the ads they run on or whatever. And if I came to my YouTube account, you know, that might be fun. You guys want to look at, see how much money I've made? I'm kind of curious. You don't make a whole lot from YouTube, but then what happened was these people, right, saw some of what I'm doing. And this is like, how many people have seen this website? Lynda.com, anybody? Nobody?
No.
Oh, you could get free access to it from the Fresno County Library. Get a library card, and then just Google Fresno County Library Lynda. And so there's some way to get to it from Fresno County Library, and they'll give it to you for free. And then you could come in here and you could learn things, right? So They have this one series of videos called Code Clinic. And for each programming language, they give you problems to solve. And they give it to people in each language. And so Swift, C, R, Java, PHP, Python, Ruby, right? And so they saw what I was doing. They said, we need somebody to do it for Go. Do you want to do it? And I took a look at the challenges, and I thought, man, I can't do some of those challenges. Sure, I'll do it. And so then luckily I have a couple of students out of Fresno State who are really smart, and they helped me figure out a couple of the challenges. And so I just got back last week. I went down to Carpinteria and recorded that training for them. But like, you know, you learn this stuff. You got to make it happen, right? Doors of opportunity will open for you. Have I said everything to you? Was there something else I wanted to say? You guys remember? A cool website to look at just to reinforce your sense of gratitude is gapminder.org. You can check it out. It's pretty neat. But then here they have Gapminder World, this thing right here. And you come into Gapminder World. It's like this little thing that runs. And I think there's a way to make it full screen. What's that do? Full screen. I'm just looking for full screen. Full screen. Big. I guess that's it. So this shows you life expectancy on the left and income per person. So if you lived in somewhere in Africa like Congo or Malawi, how do you say that? I don't know. You're expected to live to 57 and you make $757 a year. A citizen in that country. You guys have already won. You're here in America. You live to 79 and you make $51,280 a year. You'd be doing a little bit better maybe if you were in Singapore. You'd live to 82 and make 77 grand a year, right? If you were in Japan, you'd live longer, make a little less. I think there's probably a relationship there. And China and India. You can see Africa is hurting. It's pretty cool, right? Africa's all blue.
Why are those little?
The size of the ball represents the population, the size of the population.
And what countries are the small ones?
They're small countries. So the color represents what area of the world they're from. Blue is Africa. Yellows are the Americas. Here's like South Asia, right? Here's East Asia. And then you could see the 2013 in the background, so I could run the time head, and I could see what's this look like over time. So I could start to scroll back through time, and I could see how the world has changed. Look at how far China's come in terms of wealth and life expectancy, just in, since the 60s, right? Everybody's life expectancy is going up. Everybody's wealth is going up. Africa's always lagging, right? If we go back to the 40s, look at that. What do you think just happened right here? Those balls just, okay, let's play it in real time. You see all the balls drop? What happened? World War II, dude. Everybody's killing each other, right? And the orange ones, particularly in Europe, orange ones are really dropping. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
Life expectancy tanked, right? But you go way back to like the 1800s, people didn't live very long.
A lot of disease.
Yeah, disease. Cowboys with guns, crazy stuff. It's kind of nuts. History of humanity right there. You not only live in one of the best places, you live in one of the best times. Yeah, but Starbucks doesn't get my drink right like every other day. They like put in the wrong milk. All right. So I just want to give a high-level perspective, and then we'll end. This will take about 20 minutes. Give a high-level perspective and just sort of look at the water in which we're swimming. So this is like the lecture portion of today. The rest is just orientation to the class. I want to look at the water in which we're swimming, and just look at like how tech has been infused into our life. So tech is a tool. It's a tool, right? Just like a screwdriver or a hammer or a knife, it could be used for good or for bad. There's this great myth, and it's the myth of spacing on the dude's name. I don't think I have a slide. I do. Prometheus, where he stole fire from the gods. Fire is a tool. It can keep us warm, right? It can be used for cooking. It can be used for good, or in light. Or fire could be used for warfare, for destruction. It can burn us. So it's a tool. It can be used for good or for bad. So Prometheus stole fire from the gods and gave it to the humans. And for that, the gods punished him, just mythologically, looking at, our history with tools and tools being in mythology. So I'm going to teach you guys how to use this tool. Whether or not you use it for good or for bad, that's up to you. I'll also teach you a little bit of ethics at the end of the course. And you should be aware of the way in which you're using it. Because if you use it incorrectly, it could hurt you. And, right, anybody in here know anyone who's ever been hurt by technology? Nobody? Yeah. You want to share how they were hurt? Okay. So texting and driving, right? Oh man, that could mess some people up quick. And it's a super easy temptation. Or, you could, like cyberbullying, right? Like post something online about somebody or suck somebody into some sort of a charade, make them think that you're somebody other than you really are, or that they're talking with someone else, and then they send personal information, which you then use to shame them send out a picture of them to everybody else in high school. Look at this dork, right? Whoa, our kids kill themselves over that, right? And so how do you use it, and just bring in awareness to how you use it and how much are you using it. Some people I've had in my class, I talk about video game addiction. They're like, I'm totally addicted. I play like 8 hours a day. Help, how do I quit? Right? I'm like, let's go talk to people over in psychological services. They have counselors over there. They'll help you figure out how to stop. Basically, at the end of the day, though, you just have to stop. So this is where we started out. We were a bunch of monkeys. I'm going to hit that front light switch right there behind you. So this is a scene from Stanley Kubrick's 2001 where a monkey realizes, that's what we are. We are monkeys. Ultimately, there's other words you could use, Homo sapien or whatever, Neander. I don't think we're Neanderthal, but I think we're all connected. Hell, our DNA, we have like 70% of the same DNA with like a banana. Like 70% of our DNA is exactly the same as a banana. Like 98% between us and apes. It's crazy. So, originally Stanley Kubrick starts out 2001 with this monkey using a tool, realizing I can use a tool. And then he throws it up into space and it becomes a spaceship. It's like, oh, history of humanity started out with a bone as a tool. Now we have this tool. And so it's a big commentary on tech as a tool. And in this movie, 2001, the computer decides that the humans are all expendable because the mission is more important. And so the computer's Dave starts trying to kill off all the humans. And so in the tech world, like, you'll hear reference to that sometimes. Like there's a line from this movie. I think you just need to take a chill pill, sit down, and think things over. Like that's from that movie. Or Daisy, the song Daisy. The computer sings that when it's dying because Daisy was the first computer sung song. The first song a computer sang is Daisy, so it sings it in this movie at the end when the computer's dying. And it's kind of cool. But it's this idea of like, technology. We create something which has great usefulness, like fire, but it could also burn us like fire, right? Tech is a tool. And so, we could use tools for good or bad, stab people with a knife or do surgery, or, be police officers or gangster criminals, right? They're tools, right? So how do we use these tools? And they're very powerful that we've created. And there's been several instances where the world has almost killed itself because of these tools we've created and killed itself in a really sort of ironic, stupid, what's the name of the author who wrote Kurt Vonnegut kind of way, So, in 1979, somebody left a training tape in a computer that fooled officials for several minutes into thinking that Russia had launched a massive nuclear attack. That's like just think about that. Humanity almost ceased to exist because somebody left a training tape in a computer, And that's happened multiple times. This guy was in Russia, and something's happened over there, and he basically said, we're not going to counterattack. Screw it, we'll take the hit, and some of them will survive, even though there'll be massive radiation fallout. Well, it turned out as a computer glitch. And this guy got fired from his job. But then later he was given like the highest medal that you can receive for saving humanity. But for decades he was like, I no longer have work because I used to be in the military, I used to be way up, but I decided not to attack when the computer said that we should. So he saved humanity, a Russian dude. Buy him a shot of vodka if you ever meet him anywhere. The world's achieved brilliance without conscience. Ours is a world of nuclear giants and ethical infants. We know more about war than we know about peace, more about killing than we know about living. If we continue to develop our technology without wisdom or prudence, our servant may prove to be our executioner. That's a general, right? Saying basically that, we've created some really powerful tools, some incredible technology, and, it's almost bitten us in the ass many times before, and it still might do it. So it's kind of crazy. So that's the myth of Prometheus. And a bunch of monkeys with really powerful tools. So the takeaway is, right, this machine has no brain. You got to use your own. Never trust what a computer tells you. It's a post on Facebook. It's a picture of your boyfriend with a bunch of girls somewhere, right? You're like, okay, so what's that picture about? This is the story it makes me think about, but, I just saw that on Facebook. So, you don't want to text and drive, right? No, I'm not busy. I'm only driving. All right, this funny Christmas card. I love it. Obama being inaugurated, and what's that guy, Al Gore, right, checking a message in the background. Oh, who's texting me? Facebook, get your addiction. Einstein said, I fear the day tech will surpass human interaction. The world will have a generation of idiots. So stop, Dave, I'm afraid. That's from 2001. That's what the computer says, trying to convince him not to turn the computer off. So tech is a tool. How are you using it? Are you consciously using it? How are others using it? Does it impact you? This is a photo from a contest they had. How would you make this photo better? How would you Photoshop it? Right? That was the contest, just to see what people could do with Photoshop. And here's the winning entry. That's pretty funny. But Photoshop, can you believe, things you see in the press? So here's the original picture on the left, the way Newsweek ran it, and there's the picture on the right, the way Time ran it. Well, I think Time decided to make him a little bit more of a dark, villainous-looking figure with Photoshop, right? Can you believe what's in the news, and how do they manipulate things with technology to manipulate us? Or here's Oprah, right? They took her head and put it on somebody else's body and then ran it on front of the TV guide. That's the original on the right, You're looking good, Oprah. That arm's a little bit muscular, but... And, so like George Bush famously had the book upside down, but did he? Maybe somebody just Photoshopped it. How can we believe a picture? So here's another picture that ran in the press, and you can see this guy's back right here and then also right there. So it was monkeyed with. And, whoa, I've never seen that kind of a seal dog. Or that kind of flower bird. Or, whoa, ape bird. Ah! That's cool. So, there's all kinds of interesting things. Like, you can no longer access Google in China. Back in the day, you could get to Google in China. And when you search for Tiananmen in America, you get the stuff on the right. But when you search for Tiananmen Square, where they had protests in China, you get the stuff on the left if you're in China and you search for it. And so, China basically told Google, we need it to be like this. And then finally Google's like, nah, that's, obscuring from people history, and they should know history. So we're not going to do it. So Google left China. And you can't get to Google in China anymore. Good for them. And then this dude, Edward Snowden, stole a whole bunch of documents from the U.S. government because he was working as a contractor, and then released information about, look how much they're watching us and spying on us, right? So, you know, like your phone is always tracking where you are. It's always tracking where you are. I'll show you. So here's my day, January 7th, 2016. It knew where I spent the night. Right? It knew how I drove. And I drove over here. I came over here and I looked at the surf. I walked down here. I didn't walk into the ocean. I walked right there. And I looked at Rincon. This place here is called Rincon, the surf break. And then I was working right here. And then afterwards, you know, I drove this way. And I went to dinner up here. Well, first I went down there and that restaurant was closed because it was late. So I went to dinner up at this place right here. And apparently Oprah actually lives right up here. This is a super swanky restaurant. But I had $75 a day to spend, like expense account. Might as well spend it, right? This is Wednesday. Slightly different. I just went right there. Here was a Tuesday.
I have a question.
Monday.
Only us can see that, right? Like where we're.
Yeah, I can't log in and see your info. But, you know, it's all available. So, you know, you're a criminal and you have a criminal record and the FBI comes to your house and they're like, hey, man, we think you did this thing. You're like, cool, let's go talk to the judge. I want to show him Google location history. Look, Your Honor, this is where I was at. And you can look at each day. I was nowhere near the crime scene when that occurred.
But what if you give your phone to someone else and then you do the crime?
Aha! Future prosecutor sitting in the front row. So do you have to worry that people have a bunch of information about you? Like that, you know, Edward Snowden revealed that the United States government gathers all this information from us. Do we have to worry that we're being profiled? How many people, I'm not worried. How many people are worried? You know, the only thing to think about is when somebody has information about you, what are they going to do with it? So if you were Jewish in 1930s, late 30s, early 40s Germany, right, and this is from Schindler's List, the movie, like you would not want people to know you're Jewish, right, during that time frame. And you might think, well, but that was, you know, in, you know, Germany at one period of time. Well, the same thing happened in Cambodia. Same thing happened in Rwanda, right? Same thing happened in America. So, right, like, you could, I was just thinking about the Indian genocide, but in World War II, we rounded up all the Japanese people, and we put them into concentration camps. We didn't throw them into ovens, but we took away all their property, and often they didn't get their property back. And one of the concentration camps was right up at Blackstone and Herndon. It was like a sorting facility where they'd figure out where to send people for Japanese people. So there's still a lot of Japanese, you know, older people who don't put their money in the bank, keep all their money in their furniture, you know. So here, Army gets power to move citizens or aliens inland, right? So they did that. And these are the camps they had for the Japanese people. So you want to think about, you know, what information is out there about you, right? Do you want your future employer seeing that? Or that? Right? Or, you know, this girl blogging about how she hates her job, and then, you know, her boss saying, did you remember that you friended me? So, information revolution. So there's been a couple of turning points in the history of humanity where civilization's gone one way and then another way. One has been like the Neolithic revolution, where we went from hunters and gatherers to farmers. The plow was invented. We settled down. We started growing food. Allowed for some specialization. One dude would grow the wheat. Somebody else became the blacksmith, right? and villages arose. So that was a big turning point in the history of humanity. And then we had like the printing press. And the printing press was, oh, you no longer had to write a book out, copy it out by hand to make a copy of a book. You could print books. And that allowed for the distribution of information. So in some ways, that's the first information revolution. And within 200 years after the invention of the printing press, there was the scientific revolution and the scientific and the Renaissance. So flourishing in the arts and the sciences, because people had access to information, were able to share information. Kind of cool. And then the Industrial Revolution, a mass production, and assembly line. That's another really big turning point in the history of humanity, right? Mass-produced stuff, change the way we live, right? We're leaving that right now, and now we're entering the information revolution, potentially one of the most significant out of all of those. Like, how's it going to shape the course of humanity over the next 100, 200 years? Drastically going to alter it because the invention of the internet and the ability to share information. The second information revolution, right? So it's pretty amazing the time period in which you live. And you have to remember tech is a tool. And is it being used for good or for bad? And how's it being used? How are you using it? And just bring some awareness to it. The main takeaway is just don't let yourself text and drive or even dial your phone and drive. And it's hard because I have to remember that. So along these lines, on what's today, Monday? Wednesday, we'll watch this movie. It's just going to be a movie all day. That's it. And the movie's Disconnect. And so again, just to bring awareness to the water in which we swim and the power of technology and how it can be used for good and for bad, and the situations that some people get themselves into with technology, which are difficult and challenging. To reinforce those concepts, we're going to watch this movie Disconnect, which I really like. So we'll see this trailer, and then I'll take roll, and that will be the end of class. And if you are home watching this video online, watch Disconnect on your own. And it's a really great movie. And I'll reinforce this idea that tech is a tool, and it can be used for good and for bad.